This is me performing on stage for a theatre play for the very first time in my life. You might think I'm looking cool at all, but actually, I'm freaking out inside. I love acting. Or at least, I think I might. Growing up, I've watched Channel 8 dramas, and I'll always think to myself, what would it be like if I were to be an actor? But then again, I'm always scared of what people might say. What if they think that I'm silly or cringe? I don't know. So this year, I'm going to be challenging myself to take part in my school's theatre play with no experience at all. So the plot of our story goes like this. The protagonist of the story is Claudia, who got an overseas job opportunity to work in Finland. But she's met with disapproval by her father and grandmother, who have their own concerns. And there's me, acting as her boyfriend Kenneth, who also has reservations about moving overseas with her. Our training begins with some improvisation acting by our director, which I had way too much fun with. We also had quite a few sessions to understand our characters' intentions, motivations, and actions. Finally, our script was confirmed, which we spent days running through and improving. And then it was practice after practice over the holidays, in school and outside school. Frankly, I thought I was pretty good at acting for a start, but that was only till we had larger group sessions with the rest of the cast. They were all talented and natural, and seeing how they were all doing so well, I started to think that I wasn't actually good enough. Hi guys, so I just finished 3 years Presents rehearsals and it has been one of the most humbling experiences ever. So the lead actress, Icy, she has way more lines than I do, but she has already memorized almost everything. And meanwhile, I haven't quite figured out 3/4 of them yet. So I think I really need to keep working on it before I get scolded by the directors. Yeah, we gotta buck up, Jing'en. But then school life got busy as I had classes to attend, presentations to prepare, and many MC gigs to manage. Before I knew it, it was... Welcome to USS! The training sessions were ramping up fast as the date of the performance approached, and I was starting to get worried. I didn't want to be a burden and mess up the show, so I really had to start practicing intensively. Over the next few weeks, I dedicated every waking moment to practicing my script. And slowly but surely, I was starting to get the hang of it, and I was hoping that I'll be ready because our last few rehearsals were starting to arrive. Anyways, our stage was finally delivered, and we got some time to play around with it. How to move a block? Step 1. Position yourself properly. Secondly, you push it to Wait, this? So you go here, I go here. Get the direction right. And then our costumes team came to test our makeup, and things started to get real. Nonetheless, we had quite some fun in our performance fits, in particular, a few of us.
Alright, fit check. Okay, first, you're gonna see this shirt is thrift store, 3 ringgit. Yeah, pretty decent, it's oversized as well. Okay, the shorts is from somewhere, I don't know, in my drawer. Yeah, but I gotta show you the back. Yeah. Okay. Yes, so I wear what I want. Okay, it embodies whatever I'm wearing right now, whatever I want. Yeah, and I think every kid wears whatever they want. That's why it has no coordination at all. Yeah.
All white! All white. And we'll be having white socks as well. We will be shining we'll be shining bright. Oh my god. We will remove NS. So the guys will be free, they are liberated. No more NS for you guys.
After all the fun and giggles, our directors had some news for us.
So today we are hoping to have 2 full runs. I didn't tell all of you, but we'll have someone come in for the second full run and watch us. So the idea is that we'll get an outside perspective on what they think about our show.
It would turn out that he is bringing one of his theatre friends along to watch and give us comments. I knew that I had to take things seriously, but I was still goofing around with some of the other cast members. And it was clear that by the end of the day, we were all tired and turning into silly billies.
Oh, let's go.
Kermit the Frog.
And we are still at rehearsal.
Come here 9.
Nine.
So it's been 12 hours.
It's been a hot 12 hours, I have to say. Yeah, let me see for rehearsal. Pray tell.
You know what? We having fun.
Yeah, we'll be having fun. People have been making me laugh this week.
After hours of training and practice, we were finally done.
Yes, so we are done with a 12-hour US present session. We did it from start all the way to night. Honestly, it's exhausting, but at least we're done. Yay!
Weeks turned into days, and the actual show was coming up that very week. We had a few more practices, and I was actually starting to feel much more anxious. And soon enough, the big day has arrived. It was time for us to showcase our months of effort, and we finally reached the venue. We got to orienting ourselves around the stage, familiarizing ourselves with our positioning, and also got in a few rounds of practice. Standing on stage with it set up in full glory, I knew that there was no turning back. And then it was time for us to get dressed and our makeup done. Everyone was looking great and sharp, and I could feel the nerves building up.
Hello! Hey guys, check out my hair. It's like curly, except for like, I don't know if you can see it, but
No, we can see it.
yeah. So we're gonna start our full dress rehearsal. And okay.
And yes, I think it's gonna be exciting. Oops, now boss is talking. Alright. Oh, yep, so briefing now. Yeah.
See you backstage.
See you backstage.
Next, it was time for us to mic up and test our audio.
Okay, go number 2.
Mic check 1, 2, mic check 1, 2. How was I supposed to know that the client was right there, just as I was bad mouthing him? Seriously?
Okay, loudest line.
What's my last slide? I guess you'll be nice. I mean, you'll be nice to a family of ours, right?
Okay, can next.
Thank you.
And we are 2 hours to the show. Yeah.
2 hours, yeah.
How are you feeling, James?
I think it's nice. We started this in Sem 1 week. Last year Sem 1, I think. Yeah, so going from no script to a script, then rehearsing the script, then receiving a new script. Not knowing whether this will happen, I think it's quite a nice conclusion.
True. Do you want to join? I guess you can. How are you looking forward? It's 2 hours.
I feel like it still hasn't set in yet. Like I'm still kind of chill. Like my heart is not beating out of my chest yet. Yeah, but I'm really hoping that like the 15 minutes that I have to spend over there, like sitting and like being limp, will desensitize me to the crowd. Yeah.
Speaking in license like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's only some random thing, then you just be like, he's
Just
lying.
like now, I can't tell what's in line and what's not.
US Presents has consumed my life. But yes, I think it's going to be a fun time, so let's see how it goes. We have another one after the show. Let's get it.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to Time Thing on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay.
As our show edged closer, we had one last run of rehearsals, and soon enough, it was time. But before we started, the directors had some words for us.
A long journey, and I hope that what you have worked on is something you can feel proud of. I understand there's a lot of points in production where you might feel very sian, very tired. I think I might have been very unfair at times too to you guys, and I would just like to thank you for bearing with that, and I would just like to say you all look beautiful, you all look mesmerizing on stage.
And after some claps and high fives of support from the other cast members, it was go time. I wanted to give the audience a show of a lifetime, and the pressure was on. And our show ended well. The crowd loved our performance, and what surprised me most was that my character Kenneth got quite a few laughs from the audience. I might have forgot a line or two, but that's okay. No one really knows. Now that everything is over, it felt like all passed by too quickly. As cliche as it might sound, if you ask me what I'll miss the most from this entire play, I think I'll have to say the people. I feel like I'm going to miss everyone that made the show happen, and more importantly, all the fun, silly moments that we have shared together. I don't know whether we'll ever get a chance to share the stage like this again, but that's okay. I know for a fact that I gave my best, had tons of fun, and that's what matters the most. As the curtains of the play draw to a close, a big thank you to the cast and crew for making this show possible. And of course, a big thank you to myself for believing in me, fulfilling a dream that little Jing'en would be so proud of.